Hi, it's Jim. Welcome to Great Books, Big Ideas. I'm testing out my new MacBook computer and iMovie to see if this works. So I'm going to keep this a relatively short Friday Reads video. And not much to report, but I did finish the May Sarton book of journals, A House by the Sea. And I did enjoy that book. It was fun. It was really like a window into the life of a writer as she gets into her 60s, staying in a beachside house in Maine. And I liked it. It was set in the early 1970s. I did not keep the book. I sent it back to the little library for someone else to enjoy. Hopefully, someone will get a lot of pleasure from it. And I'll keep my eye out for May Sarton's novels and poetry. I'd like to see, what she's all about. The book came to an interesting conclusion where you felt like she had this period in her life where she was I think she was allowed to stay in this friend's house. Maybe she was paying rent, some kind of a beautiful beachside house in Maine. But it was like covering this period of her life where she was between things. She had just sort of closed down a house in New Hampshire or sold it, and then was like between novels. And she was like, during this time, she was in Maine. She was, it was a bit of a fallow period. She was wrapping up a nonfiction book and completed that, and writing some poetry. Making a lot of public appearances and having visitors and whatnot, taking care of declining friends, but by the end of the book, so you reach this point where she says essentially like, I think I'm gonna stop journaling for a while and get to work on this novel that's starting to percolate up and brewing in me. And it was interesting on just that sort of creative life level. So anyway, that's May Sarton. I also sent to the little library a book I did not finish, the Ruth Benedict book that I found in a little library a few weeks ago. Never picked it back up. I read a chapter or two and I just thought nothing wrong with it, but it's just not even on a back burner. And the book had a little bit of an odor to it and was starting to fall apart. So I thought, well, someone might want to, discover it in a little library, but it's not a book that I was going to finish. So I just gave up on that. I have been going back and reading like bit by bit in this Schopenhauer, The World as Will and Idea. And I'm, still not very far through it, but read a page or two or three at a time. I find that philosophy is like mental gymnastics for me. It's like a fitness workout, strength building, and I think it's good for my mind. Like even if I don't completely digest everything I'm reading, it's at some level I find philosophy interesting. So nothing brilliant to say about that book right now, but I'm like going to stick with it. I think I will read the whole book. Anyway, other than that, like no new discoveries this week. It's been a pretty slow reading week for me. A lot of major life changes coming up, which I will be reporting on pretty soon. But I don't want to jump the gun on that. So anyway, I hope everyone's well this week if you are following along. And let me know what you've been reading or picking up lately. And I hope you'll have a great weekend, wherever you may be.